thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you all for coming. And so thank you for joining us today. We are from the Rochester, New York School Library System, and we are going to talk to you today about how we use Sora in our school libraries. If you're not familiar with Sora, but you use the public library system uses Libby. So you might be familiar with Libby and borrowing books that way. So Sora is the school library version of that. So I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Colleen Sadowski. I'm the director of the school library system. And with us today, we have Melissa Frost. She's one of our librarians that works full-time for the school library system and supporting everybody. And we have Miranda Stefano, who also works full-time in the school library system, supporting all of our program schools. First thing I want to talk about is money. Money, unfortunately, does not grow on trees, and it falls at a much faster rate than this and disappears, right? So wherever you work, you probably have district pots of money. You might even have building pots of money, grants, donations. There's all sorts of different sources of funding that you can use to purchase books and ebooks. So how are you going to leverage your investment in what you're doing? Your existing digital resources. What we did when we took a look and decided, we really need to make some changes. We had different ebook platforms all over the place, depending on where we bought the ebooks from. Everybody had their own platform. It was confusing. People weren't using them because they weren't knowing to go where to get the different books. So what we did is we scooped everything from all of the platforms and we loaded it all into our Sora app. So we now have everything on one platform. It's much easier for everyone, for teachers looking for books, students looking for books, all other district staff, families when they go in. They don't have to know to go to before 5 or 6 different platforms. Now they only need to go to one. So that's what you could do with your existing. Your new purchases, we now try to only purchase from Marketplace to make it easier. In the event that you do purchase books from other vendors, there are some where when you buy a print book, they're going to give you an ebook that goes along with it. For a small fee, you are able to move that most of the time over to your Sora platform to keep everything in one place. Yeah, for our library budgets, we have the option for some librarians have chosen to take a portion of their budget and create a cart for credit on Marketplace, and then they're able to go in and select whatever books they want as new releases come available, as a teacher comes looking for a resource. Let's see, I already talked about that. Oh, and then the no-cost things. This was like a huge thing for us and how we started. I had tried for years to get this to happen, and then it finally happened. You can connect with your public library system through Sora. So now we have connected all of our students and staff to the Monroe County Library System, and they now have access to all of those books. They don't have access to books that are inappropriate for their age or grade levels. We were able to sort that out. As we did come across some that there were, some issues, it was very quickly taken care of by Sora staff. But that is something that is huge because now they have access to thousands and thousands more books that we didn't have to buy. And it's just your public library system just signs off on paperwork. Your school district superintendent signs off on paperwork, and then the magic all happens, and then your IT department puts it into your single sign-on platform, and voila, everybody has access to everything, and it's great. So now I'm going to turn this over to Melissa.
So at the district level, especially if you're a librarian, it's very helpful because we can do things like set up one-to-one users, one-to-one books. So if you have a teacher that wants to assign books to the classroom, you can have them actually assign it to the students. Very helpful. We can also do weeding at the district level. Ebooks, just like with any other kind of books in your collection, eventually need to be weeded and removed from the collection. And you can do that globally. So at the district level, if you have a consortium of some kind, it really helps a lot to be able to have one person be able to manage this and go through. You can also assign age-appropriate levels. So if you're from a parochial private school and you really have to watch what levels you assign to your students, you can do that at the district level. So everyone has the same content access level by grade. So you don't have to do a lot of extra work. You don't even have to manage it once you set the level because the system manages it for you. So when that 5th grader comes and signs out a book, they're obviously not going to get a book that normally a 12th grader would read. It's all set up for you. Okay, another thing I like is the mock records. So if you are importing these into your library catalog, whatever library catalog you have, they come in. Really nice. You can either do it at the district level or each librarian can take and import it themselves. What's nice about that is you actually have a choice. We did debate in our district, do we want to import the records or not, have them go to Sora as a separate connection or have it in our catalog? We decided to put it in our catalog so they had more access to different kind of shopping models. Troubleshooting, when I get a problem, we have a librarian contact me, say we have this or that. It's centrally located. A lot of times we find it's more user error. The Overdrive platform has been very stable for us. So it hasn't really been a lot of difficulties with, things at their end. And it connects nicely with our district processes. So we can upload the students' names and everything else. So it's really good.
Okay. Make sure I'm loud enough here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can use Overdrive Sora in the classroom. When we're teaching kids to read, we really want them to make connections to what they're reading. We have the 3 main connections to text, connections to ourselves, connections to the world, connections to other people. We really want kids to be thinking about that, and sometimes it's hard to get them to do that. So Sora has this great tool built right into it where it can allow you to highlight, just like a lot of other platforms, but it conveniently has 3 different colors to highlight in. So what you can do is assign one of those colors to each one of those connections and then have them, as they're reading, document when they're finding those connections. So, for example, in here I've selected yellow to be connections to self. And when they find something that they connect to, they can go ahead and document that right away. Then there is a simple tool where not only can they highlight it, but then they can add a note into it too. And that allows them to document it further, explaining that connection to themselves. An example here was something I was reading, and I can't remember which book it was, but it described someone feeling the sunlight on their arms and how that made them feel. And I was like, oh, I totally connect to that, that feeling of the sun on your skin, and just typed about how I felt that. So as they're going, they can build up these different connections. And then as they have a bunch of things collected, they can go to this page on the Overdrive Sora page, and they can see all their notes and all their highlights in one place. So if they're working on a report or they're doing a presentation that they need to be putting together, they can have all these notes in one place. And they can start really young, too. Start teaching those note-taking skills pretty young. So here you can see I had 2 different highlights on Earth Abide's story, and I just typed out my connections to each of those. So that's a great method for them to use to make all those connections. And there's one more thing that I wanted to show you guys related to what you can do in the classroom or in the library with Overdrive Sora. So I'm a librarian, so I like to have a lot of reading contests with my students to get them excited about reading. So inside Sora, you can see how much time you've read quite easily. And it's easy for the students to find this. So what I do is I'll set a certain time frame, maybe a week or a month, and I say, whoever reads the most in this time frame will win something that I have. Most recently, I got a free pair of headphones that I gave them, whoever read the most in a month. So all you have them do is log in. They'll click on their little me symbol on the bottom, and they can see right here, total time read. And they can change the time frame that it worked to be custom. So you can do whatever time range you want, and then it'll report out to them how much time they have read. They can report this to you by either putting a screenshot in, filling out a Google form, just to say how much time they've read and submit it, and then you can select who is the major winner there. So I think our next moment, we have some questions. If you guys have questions for me, Melissa or Colleen or any of the Overdrive Sora staff members, we can take those questions too.